Imagine a place built entirely of ice, yet you can sit inside comfortably without feeling the freezing cold. This is not science fiction, it is a reality that Arctic inhabitants have lived for thousands of years. So, how can something made of cold material actually keep you warm? When we hold a piece of ice in our hands, we feel the extreme cold and cannot keep it for more than a few minutes. This makes the whole idea seem impossible. How can a house made of ice be a warm refuge from the deadly cold outside? In the Arctic, temperatures drop to 40 degrees below zero. The fierce winds make staying outside a real danger to life. This is where the igloo appears as a genius solution, where the ultimate enemy transforms into a close friend. The temperature difference between the inside and outside of the igloo can reach a full 40 degrees. So while a person is freezing outside, inside the igloo, they can take off their heavy clothes and sit comfortably. This amazing contrast has a simple scientific explanation. The secret lies in the type of snow used for building, because it is not the clear, transparent ice we know. Instead, it is packed snow that contains a huge amount of air trapped between its crystals, and this air is the magic key to the warmth. Packed snow consists of 90% air trapped within tiny ice crystals. This air acts as a natural thermal insulator, as it prevents heat from transferring easily from one place to another. The igloo wall works exactly like a heavy blanket. It doesn't produce heat on its own, but it prevents the heat inside the igloo from escaping to the cold outside. This insulating function is the foundation of the warmth. The important question arises, what is the source of heat inside the igloo if there is no wood, coal, or electricity? The answer is simple and amazing. The heat source is the human body itself. The human body constantly radiates heat, reaching about 100 watts. Under normal conditions, this heat dissipates into the open air and is lost. However, inside the sealed igloo, this heat is trapped. When one person enters the igloo, their body heat begins to gradually raise the temperature of the surrounding air. With 2 or 3 people present, the space becomes warm enough to allow them to take off their heavy outer layers. And here, another puzzling question arises. Why doesn't the snow above our heads melt from this heat? And why doesn't the igloo turn into a pool of water that drowns us while we sleep? The answer lies in the laws of physics. The secret lies in the design of the igloo's entrance, which is a tunnel carved below the level of the floor where the inhabitants sit. This tunnel acts as a cold air trap, exploiting the density difference between cold air and warm air. Cold air is denser than warm air, so it sinks to the bottom. Warm air is lighter, so it rises to the top. The low-set tunnel collects the cold air and traps it away from the area where people are sitting. In this way, the warm air generated by body heat remains trapped in the upper part of the igloo where the people are sitting. The cold air from the outside cannot enter because it is too heavy to rise into the living space. When the air temperature inside the igloo rises enough, the inner surface of the ice begins to melt slightly. This process might seem scary at first glance, but it is actually very beneficial. The water from the melting doesn't collapse or drip. Instead, the freezing cold coming from the outside instantly refreezes this water from the outer side of the wall. This process strengthens the igloo in an amazing way. As this process keeps going, the igloo transforms from just blocks of snow stacked on top of each other into a solid, perfectly sealed glass shield. This shield doesn't let a single draft of air pass through. The strength of this icy shield is so massive that even a polar bear standing on the roof won't make it collapse. This power comes from the snow blocks fusing together through the process of melting and refreezing. There is just one problem left to solve, which is ventilation. Since the igloo is so perfectly sealed, it prevents the carbon dioxide that people breathe out from escaping. Without a solution to this problem, the inhabitants could actually suffocate inside their own warm home. The solution is right at the top of the igloo's dome, where there is a small ventilation hole. This opening works like a natural chimney, allowing heavy gases to escape while keeping the warm air inside the space. Carbon dioxide is heavier than regular air, so it gathers at the bottom of the igloo near the ground. The top vent doesn't affect it much. However, the inhabitants make sure never to block this opening to guarantee that oxygen keeps coming in. The Inuit people, who are mistakenly called Eskimos, didn't come up with this design by chance. It's actually the result of thousands of years of accumulated experience in dealing with the harshest environment on Earth. These people masterfully applied the laws of physics long before they were ever taught in books. They know exactly which type of snow works best for building, and which angle for the dome makes it most resistant to the wind. The dome of the igloo isn't just a random shape, It has specific angles that distribute forces equally across all the walls. This engineering design makes the igloo capable of holding massive weights without ever collapsing. Building a medium-sized igloo takes about 40 snow blocks. Depending on the builder's experience, it can take anywhere from 1 to 3 hours to finish. This short amount of time makes it a perfect shelter for emergency situations. When the temperature drops intensely outside, it reaches a level inside the igloo ranging between 0 degrees Celsius and 10 degrees below zero. This massive difference literally means the difference between life and death. The thin layer of ice that forms on the inner walls after melting and refreezing acts as an extra insulator. This layer seals any tiny openings that were there between the snow blocks. The Inuit people use small lamps made from soapstone called kudlik. These lamps burn with seal oil and provide dim lighting and extra heat that helps raise the temperature inside the igloo. The sleeping platform inside the igloo is raised about 30 centimeters above the ground. This elevation places those sleeping in the highest area where the warm air is concentrated and keeps them far away from the cold air at the bottom. With these simple and genius ways, snow transforms from a life-threatening enemy into a friend that protects it. This shows that understanding the laws of nature and using them the right way can truly work miracles in the toughest conditions.